Please welcome Laisha Ward and Tim Welsh.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. You can say it louder than that. Good evening. All right, that's better. Welcome to Greater MSP's 2023 kickoff at the beautiful Guthrie Theater, where I recently saw a performance, by the way, of a fabulous show called Blues for an Alabama Sky. I don't know if any of you saw that play by Pearl Clegg. If you haven't, I would encourage you to check it out. I heard some claps in the audience. It was phenomenal. And it's in that spirit that we're so excited to be here together because we are Greater MSP, and we're back together again in person, which is something to celebrate. And we are thrilled that we were scheduled to be together this week versus last week during our little snowstorm. And it's in that spirit that we also want to welcome all of you here. We're so grateful that you chose to spend your time with us, and want to give a special greeting to our elected officials who are present. And one of those is our very own Minneapolis Mayor, Jacob Fry, who will join us on stage to say a few words. Mayor Fry?
Well, thank you so much, Laisha and Tim, and it is so good to be back with everyone here at the Greater MSP meeting, bringing everyone together. The last time I was on a stage here in the Guthrie, I was actually performing as a guest in A Christmas Carol. I had like tights on and this old like 1800s style jacket, and that kind of gives you a level of the seriousness of the job that you used to have as to right now. The kind of issues that we have confronted in the last few years have been extraordinary, but the beauty is that we've tackled them all as a team. And Greater MSP has been such a critical part of this work because as we rebound, we've got to do it together. This is not about Minneapolis versus St. Paul. This is not about the two specific Twin Cities versus our greater region. This is about a regionalist approach. This is about all of us rallying around a common cause, which we know is not just getting back to the old normal, because that would be positively unacceptable. It's blowing by that old normal and getting to true change and transformation in this city and in this greater region. I got to give a huge thank you, and if you could give Peter Frosch a round of applause for all of the work that he's done at Greater MSP. The bids we are chasing, the grants we are trying to get, the level of coordination that we are seeing right now, and the fruit that we are seeing come to bear is undoubtedly the result of a whole lot of work and a whole lot of partnerships, and all of you. And so from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your commitments to the greater Minneapolis-St. Paul region. Thank you for your commitment to this city. We are rebounding in fine form, in large part because of you. So, thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.
I'm a hugger, and I'm glad that we're moving into a space where it's okay to do that again. So thank you, Mayor Fry, for being with us. He also serves on the Greater MSP board, and we're just grateful for his engagement. You know, at Target, we start by talking about our why, which is our purpose. Our why at Greater MSP is to make this region greater by growing the economy and creating more economic opportunity for everyone. Our why is to solve some of the world's greatest challenges through innovation and to make our region even more globally competitive. It's a big why, a purpose worth rallying around, and it's one that I know we can achieve together. We're doing it with a shared strategy, a strategy with pillars that include growing jobs, creating a talent advantage, accelerating our innovation ecosystem, building our region's brand image, advancing racial inclusion, and so much more. This strategy is about driving inclusive economic growth, an economy that grows faster and is sustainable for everyone. And I'm really proud of what we've been able to accomplish together, and yet we all know it is not sufficient. There is so much more we can and need to do, and we will do it. And here to talk more about what we will do together is my friend and colleague, Tim.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Laisha. As Laisha said, we have done a lot together as one greater MSP partnership. And when I use that phrase, I'm not thinking about an organization. I'm thinking about this partnership and countless others who aren't here tonight, but who play such a critical role in helping this region continue to be vibrant. And I must tell you that tonight is a really special night for me, because I remember back in 2009, when a number of us had conversations over a period, and we said, you know what? We want to be the region that comes out of that great financial crisis, that great recession. We want to come out of that stronger, better than we were before. And the only way we can do that is if people from all parts of our community come together behind a common vision of making this region stronger for everybody. And that's what we did. And today, as a result of that work all of you have done, since 2009, we have helped together to bring more than 75,000 jobs and $5 billion of investment to this region, right? That is what you did together. That's right, thank you. But I also want to highlight, just as Laisha said, the work is far from done. We have so many opportunities in front of us, so much more to do to make sure that this region is not only vibrant in the aggregate, but it is vibrant for every single person. That every single person who grows up here has the potential to thrive, the ability to achieve their full potential in life. That is what Greater MSP, this organization, and this region are about. Thank you for all you have done. Thank you for being a big part of that vision. Laisha, it's a big vision for all of us.
Indeed it is. You know, I think sometimes we don't even realize how special this thing is that we've created. And I was on a business trip for Target recently and attended a forum on economic development and was blown away when a couple of people in attendance came up to me and mentioned that as they were benchmarking organizations who are doing this work like at such an elevated level across the country, that the Greater MSP continued to come up on the top of their list, right? Sometimes you don't realize when you're in the middle of it, like doing the work, and it's hard work, that we're still leaders in this space. And we can celebrate the accomplishments that we have, knowing that we still have a lot more work to do. So tonight we come together to recognize the power of what we've created together and to look to the future. And we want to celebrate some of the nation-leading solutions that we've actually created together this year. And we're going to reveal some really inspiring new bodies of work that will transform our economy and the access and opportunities that people in this community can have to build great careers and families. And I want to say that again, it's about access and opportunity. Like, it has not been equally applied, and there's work we can and need to do in that space. And I'm excited for you to hear more about these amazing projects. You know, they're not just hypothetical concepts, but they're real, tangible projects where we're making progress. And I think you're going to be really excited about what you hear, and we hope that you'll continue to be engaged. So many of you are engaged in the work. We cannot do this alone. We can do hard things, but we don't have to do hard things alone. And I'm really honored and grateful to be on this journey with all of you, and looking forward to seeing us have the kind of sustainable impact that this community needs and deserves.
You know, what Laisha is describing is about the next transformation of this region. We've been on a journey where we've been transforming many parts, and you're going to hear lots tonight about the transformation of where we've been, but we're all incredibly excited about where we're going. If you think about a transformation, many of you work in companies or organizations that are transforming. I know at US Bank, the way that banking is done is radically changing. And if you think about a transformation, it involves big, bold ideas, and you're going to hear some big, bold ideas tonight. It involves people coming together and thinking in new ways, new mindsets, collaborating in ways that they haven't done before. That's all part of the institutional transformation, and that's what I think this region has the potential to do. But we can also only do that, we can only transform the region collectively when we also transform ourselves individually, when we learn new things, explore places that we haven't gone before, and critically build new relationships where we can learn from one another, listen to one another. And I'm particularly grateful for Leisha in this. Prior to actually being on the board of Greater MSP, we didn't actually know each other hardly at all. But we've become such good friends, and I have learned so much from her. We were on a Zoom call recently talking to a group, and we found ourselves literally finishing each other's sentences. And it was one of those moments that you realize that not only do you have a friend, you have a long-lost sibling.
He didn't know he was a middle-aged black woman until that very moment.
And I am so grateful for her and for the many other friendships that I have made along the way, because they have transformed me. And so I encourage you to think about, as we go forward in this region for the next decade, the big ideas that you're going to hear about, the boldness that's required. But I also hope that you'll think about, who are those friendships that I'm going to make, like me and Leisha, that are going to transform you as well? Well, it's not just Leisha and I that have been thinking about transformation. You're going to hear a lot this evening. But I'd also like to introduce at this point a good friend of mine who has also been thinking about transformations and transforming this region. I'd like to welcome Jeff Martha, the CEO of Medtronic, to join us. Jeff?
All right, well, thank you. Thanks for the time here tonight. It's great to be here, and I'm here to talk about an idea as well. Talk about an idea that I've been thinking about for quite a while, and I believe it really aligns, tightly with this whole idea that you've been talking about, Tim and Leisha, about transformation. And the idea has really come to me from others, quite frankly. Medtronic is often, approached by cities around this country and cities around the world about building health tech innovation hubs in their regions to, one, develop and commercialize transformative healthcare technologies to change healthcare, but also to spur economic development in the region. And, while the implementation plans vary from city to city, the general concept is the same. And the urgency and the cadence of these requests has really only accelerated coming out of COVID, as leaders around the world have come to the conclusion that technology is the only path forward to provide affordable access to healthcare around the world. We learned that in COVID, whether it be the vaccines or other medical technologies that were a matter of life and death, and there just isn't enough labor, healthcare workers out there, trained physicians, to take care of the world's healthcare needs. And technology has to play a big role, and it also spurs a lot of economic development. And so, as I learned more about these, I started to think, well, why don't we do more of this in the Twin Cities? We have everything that we need for this right here in our own backyard, and all the players involved in these healthcare ecosystems, are here in Minneapolis, in the Twin Cities. And hell, MedTech was invented here. So for those that don't know the story, the whole medical technology industry started with a collaboration between a cardiac surgeon at the University of Minnesota and an engineer. The cardiac surgeon, Dr. Walt Lillehei, determined that after the horrible Halloween storm in 1957, where the power went out at the U, and there was a tragic patient death, he determined, during a cardiac surgery, he needed basically a pacemaker that was battery powered, that didn't rely on plugging into the wall, AC power. And so he turned to the Medtronic founder, Earl Bakken, who was basically a hospital equipment repairman at the time, and said, hey, can you build me this? And that collaboration around that unmet need not only, launched the first battery-powered pacemaker, it started Medtronic, it started the whole medical technology industry that has a huge basis here in the Twin Cities. And as you fast forward to today, we have one of the healthiest healthcare ecosystems out there, the most robust ecosystems out there. We have world-class healthcare systems, we have payers, we have academic institutions like in engineering schools and business schools like at the University of Minnesota. We have most of, if not all, the world's leading largest medtech companies, including the largest Medtronic here in the Twin Cities, with huge presence here in the Twin Cities. So we have a lot, but and we're known in some circles around the world as one of the hubs of medtech technology, but it is kind of a little bit of a secret. And I think there's an opportunity here for us to actually build it on our healthcare ecosystem and transform it, add more intentionality to it, and elevate our value proposition at a time when the world needs it most. And to be successful, we need to tap into all the sectors of strength that I mentioned. Just if we do that, imagine the impact that we could have. And so that's where the idea is to convene a small group of leaders here in the community, in the region here, to stitch together all these elements of this healthcare ecosystem that we have here in the Twin Cities, but stitch it together with more intentionality, and like I said, elevate our impact here, and really claim, and that for Minnesota, and grab the ring here, for Minnesota not to be just known as a medtech hub, but the global medtech hub around the world. And I think this is not a crazy idea. We have all the elements, like I said, and this is something within our reach. And as I see other cities looking at what we have with envy and trying to replicate this in many ways, I don't think we can sit still. I think we have an opportunity to build strength on strength, and like I said, become the recognized leader, for global healthcare technology around the world. And look, obviously, I'm super excited about this opportunity. The next steps here are early. The idea is still in its infancy, but I'm confident that with the right people and the right players here in the region working together, again, with, like I said, that intentionality to stitch everything together and lay out some bold goals, as you were talking about, I'm confident that we can take this whole thing to the next level, and that you'll be hearing more about this in the coming months and years as we build this out. So I'm hoping to be back in front of you with more progress here in the future, and I just want to thank you for the time and enjoy the rest of the night. It's great to be here. I'll turn it back over to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Talk about bold vision. That's what you're going to hear a lot of today, transformational ideas. We're going to move on to our second act now. Thank you.